Welcome to another edition of the MMA Rundown. I'm Drew Shannon.
I'm Albert Cameron, and we want to thank you all for watching. Namely, we want to thank you guys, for all you guys at Friendlies, who love us here at the MMA Rundown. After the show's over, go to Friendlies, say, hey, I watched this great TV show about MMA. It's called the MMA Rundown. They told me to come here and eat something delicious. You will.
Exactly. Friendlies in Altoona, thank you guys so much for your support, and thanks for your sponsorship. And we'll be seeing you very soon.
Absolutely.
We get hungry. We also want to thank our friends Leanna and Will at MMA Cage Night for their continued support. Thank you guys so much for just spreading the word about the MMA Rundown.
Absolutely.
We greatly appreciate it. And I believe we might have a correspondent coming up here soon.
Quite possibly. We're going to get together, possibly at Friendlies. We're going to talk some stuff out. But again, that's part of the show changing.
I'm not dropping names.
Friendlies. We're getting together. The show's changing, like we told you last week, and you know that may or may not be part of the big changes coming up. You'll just have to keep watching to find out.
All right, coming up, we'll have news and notes. We've got another Albert Cameron created segment, our Spotlight Fight, email, and a whole lot more. And I got a funny feeling he's going to be wound up like he was last week at the end of the show. But we'll get into that towards the end. It's the MMA Rundown. Stay tuned. News and notes is next. Welcome back to the MMA Rundown. Albert, what time is it, my friend?
It's time for news and notes, Drew, and I want you to take it away like only you can.
It's go time. Maggie O'Neill, a pioneer in regional women's MMA, to fight at the Roctagon in Ohio on March 3rd. Is Ohio where tri-state amateurs go to cut their teeth before coming into Pennsylvania's pros, in your opinion?
I've heard some things. I've heard some things about Pennsylvania amateur rules being kind of difficult to compete under. Now, I've also got a list of names of people who have fought here, who've gone to Ohio to fight under the amateur rules because they're better. Mm-hmm. Tyler the Daywalker Saltzman, Clark Young, Charlie Gathers has done it. I think Maggie O'Neill is taking fights wherever she can because her and Courtney Kerr want to fight. So I think she's going to get maybe rules that are maybe easier for her to compete under. Okay. But I wouldn't say Ohio's any better than Pennsylvania as far as MMA competition goes. It just seems to be a trend.
I just can't wait to see her fighting back at Complete Devastation back here
absolutely.
In good old state of PA. And hopefully that's going to be coming soon to a venue near you. Bellator approves Paul Simtag Daly to fight for Cage Contender in the UK while he's waiting for his visa to fight in the United States.
That's very big of Bellator, because Paul Daly is a relatively big name. So they're allowing him, because you just can't, Paul Daly's from England. So Paul Daly just can't hop the flight over to Florida, wherever Bellator's fighting out of, and say, hey guys, I'm here to fight. He has to obtain a work visa through, I'm not sure which U.S. agency it is, but he has to get a work visa. So now he has this longer layover that guys in Bellator get, but now his is extended because he can't fly over. Bellator's saying, hey, you know what, Paul, we want to keep you active, we want to let you fight, so go ahead and fight for Cage Contenders. We're going to be big enough to let him do that. So Bellator is essentially allowing Cage Contenders to promote a bigger show with a fighter that they have under contract, which you'll never see guys like the UFC do.
You don't know what organization
Cage Contenders
does work visas?
No, which U.S. agency? I can't remember right now.
Okay.
What do you know?
I think that would be immigration, wouldn't it?
If you know, post at the MMARundown.com, or you can leave me a scathing Facebook or YouTube comment.
Somehow I thought that was going to happen. I could be wrong too.
You can fact check me all you like.
All right, and John Anik remains to remain Mike Goldberg's replacement for the foreseeable future. No one, including Dana White, knows when Goldberg will be back. Where is Goldberg?
Nobody knows where Goldberg is, and I say to Mike Goldberg, from your fellow commentators, whatever's going on with your friend, we hope it resolves itself soon.
Hopefully by the time this show airs, we'll have a little more information on that, and hopefully Goldberg's okay, whatever situation he's in, because he does an excellent job.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I study my Goldberg every time we get ready to call a fight.
Sure.
I also study Mauro now, but nobody knows what Goldberg is. We don't know what's going on with Mike Goldberg. We just know that he wasn't at UFC 155. Josh Onik was. Okay. Josh Onik got called up from doing like the UFC on fuel cards with Kenny Florian, and now he's actually in the main stage with Joe Rogan.
Right. Fact checkers.
Yeah.
Have a field day with you.
Yeah. So, again, Mike, we offering our support and hope everything resolves itself soon.
All right. Coming up, another episode of Rules or Ruse, where I am the contestant on an Albert Cameron created game show.
I do this because it amuses me. I love it.
All for his amusement. Maybe not yours, but for his. And that's important? I don't know. It's the MMA Rundown. Stick around. Welcome back to the MMA Rundown. Right now, we played this game in the past before.
It's the MMA Rundown's Rules or Ruse. The point of the game is, Drew is a contestant. Drew, I think a lot of our viewers who aren't as knowledgeable as MMA, they love learning with us.
Right.
They love learning things. And so last time we played Rules and Ruse, I put you on the spot saying, hey, is this an actual rule or not? This week I'm coming at him with techniques. I've got 5 different techniques. Drew has to tell me if I'm trying to get one over on him or if it's an actual technique. Drew, are you ready to play Rules or Ruse?
I am ready.
All right, let's cue that game show music. Drew, the Darce choke. Is it an actual choke or am I making it up?
That is an actual choke.
Okay, when have you seen the Darce choke before?
I can't remember, but by God, it's an actual choke.
Corey Hill choked out Daryl Madison at CDMMA 5, and that's the night Altoona exploded.
That's right.
All right, Drew, you are 1 for 1.
All right,
Drew, the pineapple lock.
That is a ruse.
He's right, ladies and gentlemen. Drew is 2 for 2. The pineapple lock is something that I was watching a commercial and I'm like, man, I want pineapple. It looks delicious and refreshing. So it is not an actual. It's not an actual technique.
All right,
Drew, you ready?
Yes.
The clover leaf.
The clover leaf is a hold.
Okay. Where have you seen the clover leaf before?
Oh my God, where haven't you seen the clover leaf before?
Clover leaf is actually a modified professional wrestling hold.
Yes.
In professional wrestling, it's more like a Boston Crab or like a spine bending maneuver.
Right.
In MMA, it can be used as like almost like a calf slicer.
Would you say the cloverleaf version of that would be the figure 4, or am I thinking?
The recipient of the cloverleaf has his legs in a figure 4 position.
Ah, yes. So if they reverse it, it then becomes.
You got it.
Okay.
All right, Drew.
And I'm the pro wrestling guy. I should know this stuff.
You're 3 for 3.
Okay.
Regardless, you're walking away from Rules or Ruse with a winning record. All right, Drew. The Bravo choke.
The Bravo choke. I'm gonna go with. Yes, it is an actual hold. It's not, is it?
4 for 4, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Drew is on fire. All right, Drew. The last question in Rules or Ruse. Mm-hmm. You could walk away from here with the respect of the television audience.
They won't respect me.
Or even if you get it wrong, you're still 4 for 5, which isn't bad.
I know, but I want to go 5 for 5.
You want to go for 5 for 5?
All right, let's do this.
All right, Drew. In mixed martial arts, in jiu-jitsu, boxing, in all the training aspects of mixed martial arts,
okay,
is the turkey leg an actual MMA technique?
After the pineapple lock and the explanation you had for that, I'm leaning towards that is false, but I just don't know.
I'm going to tell you that the chicken wing is an actual technique.
I'm going to say that a turkey leg is false.
Ladies and gentlemen, Drew Shannon is your 5 for 5 winner of Rules and Ruse.
The holidays were just up. I figured you had to be hungry at some point.
My mom's cooking is excellent, by the way. Just so you guys know, my holidays are great. Mama, thank you for cooking.
Throw it out there.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got the Spotlight fight coming up. The third and final round of the main event from Complete Devastation 1. We got Richard Brooks versus Shane Darby.
That's coming up next on the MMA Rundown. Stay tuned. 5 for 5. It's the MMA Rundown on ABC 23, and now it's time for the MMA Rundown Spotlight Fight.
Introducing first in the red corner, he stands at 5'11", weighing 189.5 pounds, with a pro record of 0-1-0. He is an independent fighter, Shane Darby! And finally in the blue corner, standing at 5'10", weighing 194 pounds, with a pro record 2-0-0 from Team Central PA, Richard Ruse! decision. The referee stops this bout at 1:38 the second round. Your winner by TKO with head strikes out of the blue corner, Richard Lewis.
Unbelievable bout from the very first Complete Devastation MMA bout, and
you know, a question I actually get when we show events from that are pre-Complete Devastation 3. Who are the guys doing commentary?
And
our friend Chris Litzinger,
right,
who you may or may not have seen with a wig at certain professional wrestling shows. It's Bobby Frapples, but also Jason Dignan, a good friend of ours, who is head instructor at Dignan Brew by MMA. That's why you're getting all that great knowledge and all that good information during these fights.
I want to give credit where credit is due. Chris Litzinger was also the host of the MMA show that was on before we came on the air.
The MMA segment of Project Fitness.
MMA segment of Project Fitness. I think that was actually an entire show dedicated to MMA at that point. Before it became the MMA Rundown, and I just want to give him a shout out, saying that he did a fantastic job with that, and excellent job calling the fights as well. So
if you get a chance, Chris, to stop by an MMA fight to say hi,
we would love to see you.
Absolutely, friend.
We would love to see you, Litz, and even if you want to come on here and do a guest stint on the MMA Rundown, we'd love to have you.
Got a spot right here for you.
That's right. All right, fan question this week into our email bag. The fan question response. Why don't you go ahead and...
Well, the question was, what are the fans looking forward to most in MMA in 2013? Number 3, we want to see women's fights. Of course we want to see women's fights. These ladies are lethal. They're putting on some of the better fights we've seen on television and local
fights. I thought
fights.
That would be higher, quite personally. But
when you hear the other two, I think you'll understand why.
Okay.
Number 2, the Madman has got fans all over our viewing audience.
He does.
With resounding, they said, we want to see Charlie the Madman Gathers come back, and you know what? We do too. We want to see the Madman just do what the Madman does.
And the number one thing that people are looking forward to in MMA in 2013?
They want to see UFC versus Strikeforce guys. Now that Strikeforce is enveloping into the UFC, they want to see the fights they couldn't see before. They want to see Gilbert Melendez. They want to see him fight a UFC guy. They want to see Daniel Cormier take on a Frank Mir. They want to see these Super Bowl fights that they're already doing over in Asia.
Right.
ONE FC and Glory and Dream, they're already doing it. They're already ahead of us. But now we want to see it here in the United States. We want to make that brand our own.
All right. This week's email question comes from Todd in Kerwinsville. Throw that up on the screen. And Todd writes, guys, some friends of mine are saying that some fights are fixed. Have fights been fixed? And how can I be sure that fights aren't fixed today? Albert?
In the early sport of anything, I wouldn't say nothing is out of the question.
Right.
Do I believe that fights have been fixed in the United States? No. I've heard from some folks we've talked to, some larger names, some of the guys who have more experience, that fights may have been staged in Japan. Namely, the crossbreeding MMA, shoot fighting, professional wrestling promotions may have been fixing fights.
Okay.
We don't know for sure. The allegations have been made. No one's been able to come out and say, yes, I've fixed this fight. So, Todd, I'm saying it's possible. I don't know for sure. I've heard things that suggest that. How can you be sure that fights aren't being fixed today? When you go to any fight, the state that fight is in will send out folks from its regulatory body, from their state athletic commission. The State Athletic Commission has an obligation to the not only fighter safety, but sport integrity to make sure that things are on the up and up. Gloves are checked, medicals are performed. No one is getting away with anything shady with these governing bodies sanctioning these fights, and that's why they're really there. They're to make sure that guys are safe, that the integrity of the sport is intact. So that's how you can be confident the fights aren't being fixed today, because these state athletic commissions are doing their job. They're being effective to make sure that these fights are on the up and up.
All right. This week's fan question, do you think sports today has a problem with legitimacy? What sports in particular? We could be talking about boxing, MMA,
curling.
Not curling.
Why not curling? No. It's a sport.
Yeah.
Chess is a sport. NASCAR is a sport.
You get the idea. Nothing that Stefan.
If we get preempted by NASCAR, I think I've deserved it.
Yeah, I think so too. Be sure to send us your questions and your response to that question at hosts@themmarundown.com. Don't forget the which I still haven't figured out where. Thank you, right there. It's there. It's highlighted. The MMARundown.com. Coming up. Just when I thought he was calmed down from last week, we're going to wrap things up with What's Eating Albert Cameron. Let's get to it. What's eating Albert Cameron this week?
In the country of Armenia, there is a promotion called Arm FC. Do you know what Arm FC's highlights, their main event is? Their come see this event because this is what we're bringing you. It's not a Saltzman versus Gathers. It's not a ladies fight. It's not Randy Couture versus Chuck Liddell. It is 2 6-year-olds getting in the cage.
What?
6-year-olds. 2 of them, 6 years old. They're getting in the cage, they're slugging it out. Do you know why you don't put kids in the cage? Because they aren't developed enough for their bodies to absorb the trauma that a body will go through during an MMA cage fight.
That is just plain wrong.
It's 6-year-olds, I mean... So you have one little boy who's, hey, I'm in first grade, this is great. You have another little boy, hey, I'm in another school, I'm still in first grade, I don't know all my primary colors yet, but I'm gonna go slug this kid in the face. Why? Because someone, parental guidance, said, hey, you know what? That kid's looking at you funny, you should probably hit him in the face. And for what, Drew? Why would you put your 6-year-old in the cage? You wouldn't put your 6-year-old in the cage.
If I had a 6-year-old, no, I wouldn't put a 6-year-old.
You would go into the cage before your 6-year-old, so your 6-year-old wouldn't have to go in a cage.
Exactly.
So I got a great idea, Drew. We're gonna make a ton of money. We're gonna take 2 6-year-olds, right? We're gonna take 2 6-year-olds. We're gonna put gloves on them. Okay, We're not even bother taping their fists. We're just gonna put gloves on them, and we're gonna put them in a cage. Doesn't that sound like a great idea?
No.
No one thinks that way. No one thinks 2 fighting 6-year-olds is a great idea ever. There's nothing about that is a great. Do you know what I'd rather do than watch 2 6-year-old fights? 2 6-year-olds fight? You know what I'd rather do?
I'd rather watch one of those Sarah McLachlan ASPCA commercials.
I would rather watch 3 Sarah McLachlan ASPCA commercials. I would rather have some dog look at me like, Albert, please adopt me, my life is horrible, than watch a 6-year-old fight. Those 6-year-olds are going home and they're saying, hey, you got a black eye, did your dad hit you around? No, dad put me in a cage.
Long story short, there has to be some sort of human rights organization out there that can put a stop to this, because this is unheard of. This is just barbaric.
I'll do you one better, Arm FC. Albert Cameron actually commented your video on YouTube. Do you know what they did? They deleted it. I don't even delete negative comments. I have kids on the internet telling me how sexy I am, and I'm not deleting that stuff. But Arm FC says, no, Albert Cameron knows something. We're going to keep that buried. Arm FC, please believe when I say that I will spend money on anything else than watching your fights. Anything.
That is a charming sweater vest, I must say.
Oh, thank you. It's a Rampage Jackson helped me pick it out. Anyway, Arm FC, I'm never paying to watch you fight, ever.
And that's going to do it for the MMA Rundown this week. Hosted by Friendlies in Altoona. Thank you guys. Sponsored by Friendlies in Altoona, I should say. Thank you guys so much. Of course, Friendlies, breakfast, lunch, dinner, anytime. Stop in and get a great meal. I think we're going to head over there right now.
I got a great idea, too. Not only are we going to go to Friendlies after this, but Friendlies is real close to the Blair County Convention Center on March 2nd. I'm thinking our pre-fight dinner, we'll go to Friendlies.
Maybe a post-fight dinner, you never know.
Same. Ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next week on the MMA Rundown. We don't know what's coming because we're always changing and evolving. 2013 is going to be the year for MMA.
Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you here next week for the MMA Rundown.